Guys, welcome back. We have a weekend energy update to get into this weekend. We have some interesting things going on out there. It could be a very insightful or revealing weekend. You may discover something, figure out the truth about something, get an idea for a solution or a remedy, how to heal something, how to fix something. We've got a few different things going on. Primarily though, we have a Mercury Cazimi going on. It's happening on Saturday the 13th. Mercury and the Sun will come to the exact to the minute alignment together in the sign of Virgo, and this is in a conjunction to the south node of the moon, the point of karmic release. So it could be a very karmic feeling weekend. There could be things and themes related to the past that are coming up. There could be things that are ending and culminating, or we could be really thinking about ways to transition or to fix or to heal something. There's a strong Chiron energy that is building right now as well and present for our weekend. Mars is actually coming into an opposition with Chiron in the sign of Aries. Old wounds that have been keeping us maybe trapped in some cycles that are not moving us forward could be coming to an end. This is about a karmic mental detox, changing our thought patterns and getting different results in life, essentially, as a result. There could be some life-changing mental shifts taking place throughout the course of the weekend. A lot to talk about. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's take a good look at how things are lining up for us out there and what it might mean for us as we move throughout the course of our weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, September 12th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we are just going to take a good look at our energy forecast for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend and try to get an idea of what that may mean for us as we move through life and experience throughout the course of the weekend. So we've got some things to talk about. As I mentioned in my intro, this may be an informative weekend. We could really be finding some things out. Saturday is the highlight of the weekend. Saturday morning specifically, there is going to be an exact alignment, Mercury Cazimi, Mercury in the heart of the sun to the degree minute, 6:44 a.m., 20 degrees, 55 minutes of the sign of Virgo. That is where Mercury and the Sun come into their alignment. When Mercury and the Sun align exactly, we are said to gain a missing piece of information, clarity, light bulb moment. So you may find yourself waking up on Saturday morning with some type of big idea, some type of sudden understanding, some type of solution or knowing or remedy that just comes to you. You may gain some type of very significant information, or you may make a discovery. There's a big element of truth that is being indicated with this as well, and we'll talk about that in our report for the day. But there's definitely an informational highlight that is taking place on Saturday, and this alignment is also happening in a tight conjunction to the south node of the moon. This is the point of karmic release. So there's likely to be a very karmic or maybe even faded feeling element to maybe the way that information comes through, or whatever it is that we're learning or finding out about means to us, and how it changes things somehow. But the south node is also a point of release, endings, letting go, moving on, putting the past in the past. And with this happening in the sign of Virgo, and I've been saying this all week, there seems to be something going on here that has to do with changing or shifting or altering our thought patterns themselves, the way we're thinking about things, how we're thinking about things, the deeper beliefs that we hold that contribute to the way that we are thinking about things, breaking a mental karmic cycle. Mental karmic detox, I feel like, is kind of a good little catchphrase for Mercury and the Sun and the south node in the sign of Virgo, all in alignment. And of course, you guys know that we're in an eclipse window right now as well. We're in between the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces we just had and a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo that is coming up next. So destiny and karma are kind of extra highlighted in our energy fields and experiences generally right now. But with this Cazimi going on this weekend, you may be finding out something of significance that does help you to make a change, alter a pattern, make a decision, gain a broader perspective somehow, discoveries, finding something out, finding out the truth about something. Maybe there's a big element of truth that seems to be intertwined in all of this as well, and that is because Jupiter, the planet ruling truth, ruling expansion, ruling faith and trust, but also the broader perspective, the higher knowing, and our beliefs also, is almost exactly sextile the alignment between the Sun and Mercury. And sextile aspects, they're very assisting. This is a supportive energy, and as I said, Jupiter is the truth. So there seems to be something that is revealing some element of truth to us somehow that may impact or change the way that we are thinking about things in a way that helps us to let go or move on, or just like change things enough that we start getting different results or a different outcome from our efforts. I've been talking about this in the videos all week, and all week really ever since we had our lunar eclipse that took place last Sunday. Energy has sort of been orienting us, obviously, because, you know, this is how things have unfolded, but it's all kind of, I feel like, been building a bit to this Mercury Cazimi that's coming up here, because we've been in this energy that has been urging us to alter and change thought patterns, and now here we are, Mercury, literally the messenger planet, ruling our thoughts and our ideas and our ways of thinking and communicating in the sign that he rules. And now with the Sun, the highlight on that, gaining the piece of missing information, an alternative perspective or broadening our perspective, and then with that South Node there as well, that's the point of karmic release. So you may be learning something that helps you to release and let go, or to change something of significance somehow throughout the course of the weekend. And again, it's like Saturday morning that is the specific like highlight, energetic highlight in this regard. The Cazimi is happening at 20 degrees and 54 minutes of the sign of Virgo, and it is happening between 6:44 a.m. and 7:08 a.m. Eastern time. So, you know, you can time adjust that for wherever you're at in the world. That is when Mercury and the Sun will be aligned to the exact degree minute, but all day really on Saturday, starting from when we first get out of bed. For a lot of us, this energy is going to be in effect. So don't be surprised if you have some very revealing information, or very just like significant information come through in a dream state. Like, this is the type of energy where you could literally get solutions to problems, ideas about how to like fix or heal things, suddenly like understand how to do something or to do it better based on some thing that comes through in a dream state. This could be quite a prophetic dream time energy. Or again, you may just wake up with a sudden impulse to do something different, light bulb moment, flash of insight, sudden broadened perspective with that Jupiterian energy right there as well. So I do think that answers, solutions, ideas, significant details or context or information could be coming through. This could be some type of elevated perspective, expanded understanding, or like a bunch of information, but it could also be coming through in the form of advice or guidance or wise counsel. Jupiter can represent the mentor. So if you know, it may be a good weekend to ask someone that you respect for advice, or to consider broadening your perspective somehow, because that may be exactly what you need to do in order to gain whatever insight or clarity or truth is relevant to you in terms of whatever you've got going on right now. So this is the vibe, you guys. And aside from the Mercury Sun alignment, which of course is responsible for why I'm saying most of this, we also have some other energetic activations and dynamics taking place at the same time that are layering on top of this particular vibe, and just, I think, enhancing the potency of this particular Mercury Cazimi. Number one, as I've already mentioned, Jupiter is going to be in a very tight sextile from the sign of Cancer to the Sun and Mercury while they're in their alignment. This is adding that additional layer of truth, broadening our perception and perspective on things, and facilitating our ability, assisting our ability to let go of what we need to let go of, to make the changes and alterations that we need to change, and also to have faith that we are moving in a good direction, that there will be gains in progress and success that come as a result of our efforts in whatever it is that we are changing or allowing ourselves to release in this energy. Now, aside from that, we also happen to have, you guys, the moon transiting the sign of Gemini, the other sign ruled by Mercury. When we have the Mercury Sun alignment going on, that means whatever is happening with the moon is also very perhaps relevant in terms of what it is that we are finding or discovering or gaining clarity or insight into. This is our feelings and this is our emotions. And in the sign of Gemini, the moon will have just recently formed a conjunction to Uranus and a trine to Pluto. Again, you know, this is why I was saying pay attention to the dream, like whatever's going on in your dream state as we move Friday night into Saturday, because that is when the moon in Gemini will be conjoining Uranus, trining Pluto. There could be some sudden flash of insight that comes through while we're sleeping, or there could be just some like emotional charge or something that gets us out of bed in the morning and leads to this like internal urge to change something, to do something different, to alter or edit something, or to go in a new direction. So the lunar energy is a pile-on, I think, in terms of the Mercury Sun Cazimi as well. We could also, with energy like this, gain some type of sudden awakening or awareness into maybe the deeper nature of like our own feelings about something, maybe where emotional blocks have been keeping us stuck or limiting our growth or progress or something like that. And that is what we need to change. So, you know, it could go a lot of different ways, but I do think that universe is trying to help us like figure out some of the flaws in our own programming right now, gain an awareness in such a way that we can actually consciously make some changes. So again, I've been saying this all week, but it really applies this weekend as well. If you have been waiting on a moment to make a change, to change your schedule, habits, routines, diet, lifestyle, just like the systems that you have in place that you manage your life by, this is the time. This is time. Or also the way that you are thinking about things. This is when you want to do that, okay? Because we have a ton of energetic support to stop doing things a certain way and getting a certain result, and to start doing things a different way and getting a different result. And this is an upgrade with that Jupiterian presence as well. This is about making gains, making gains, experiencing growth, being successful, developing and expanding. Okay, that sextile right there is really a blessing intertwined in the way that this energy is coming together. And, you know, with the moon also in Gemini with that Uranian energy, Uranus is also the planet that rules awakening and sudden unexpected change. So it's all tied together. Those three things are, I think, in many ways going to be mandating some type of change to take place throughout the course of the weekend. So let me now walk you guys through specifically the aspects that I'm looking at and that I'm going to be talking about in this whole report. We're going to go Friday. We're going to go day by day as I move through my little introductory segment about the potency of the Mercury Cazimi this weekend. But we do have a couple other aspects that we're going to be talking about throughout the course of the report and that are present this weekend as well. So let me list those off to you and the themes that could be just surrounding them. Number one, as I have already elaborated on, that is our Mercury Cazimi Sun Mercury exact conjunction energy. This is also happening with the south node of the moon. Mental karmic release, mental karmic detox. Number two, I just got done talking about the moon on Friday having come into a conjunction with Uranus and a trine to Pluto overnight, which is the energy that is leading us into that Mercury Sun conjunction that happens first thing in the morning. And of course, that could be bringing the difficulty sleeping and the strange dreams. I already talked about all that. Now, we also have that Jupiter energy. I've already addressed this. This really is the truth will set you free. Big ideas, answers, guidance, seeing the truth, bringing solutions. Also, and I believe I mentioned this in my intro, we have a quite lovely Venus-Mars sextile that is present in the energy field right now. Venus transiting Leo, Mars transiting Venus's sign of Libra, actually. This is really great for creativity, highly creative, highly fertile energy, very positive and supportive for romance and romantic connections, relationships, social dynamics, financial situations. People should be getting along quite well when we have a Venus-Mars sextile going on like this, especially with Venus in Leo and Mars in Libra. There is an emphasis on the heart with this. There is an emphasis on love and loyalty and like beauty and richness of like passion and experience and connection. So we're gonna be talking about that a little bit today as well. We also right now, and I mentioned this in my intro, have Mars moving into opposition with Chiron. This is a vibe that's going to be around for several days. We've been building into this energy and it's going to come exact next week. This is a little bit trickier. Now, it can have to do definitely with like healing old wounds, especially in relation to the self, the identity, self-concept, ego wounds, but it also can be an energy that can promote like the spread of illness, fever, rashes. It can bring like heat damage and fire damage and stuff like that. This could also represent some type of like financial actions or reactions or just people doing things with money. This could also have to do with like pain and wounding and then therefore what needs to be done to heal from those things. So this could be a bit of a touchy, sensitive, vulnerable energy that we're dealing with, but it really does give us the drive and the motivation and the energy and the focus to heal issues if we are able to like keep ourselves out of any type of wounded ego victim mindset and like not let that be the motivation of our actions. And this is another energy that we'll be talking more about over this upcoming week and these next videos. Finally, the last thing that I'm going to address in our video today is a third quarter square moon that is going to be coming in on Sunday. The moon in Gemini will come into the square with the sun and Mercury and the south node on Sunday. Quarter square moon, third quarter square moon, when the moon squares the sun, it happens twice a month. This is always energetically a point of tension, with both of Mercury's signs being highlighted here by the sun and the moon, luminaries in both of Mercury's signs, with Mercury right there in the south node. Arguments, verbal conflict, conflicting ideas or information, conflicting like methods and styles and systems. Like this is like type A versus type B and not being able to get on the same page. This could also be a conflict between thoughts and feelings, the feelings versus the knowings, or difficult choices and decisions and conversations could come with this as well. And we'll be talking about this more as we get to the end of the report and discuss the energy of Sunday. So that is what I'm looking at. That is what I'm drawing from as I continue to describe the energy throughout the course of this video. Overall, I would say again that I do think we are being gifted this weekend with a really, really great opportunity to heal some old issues, resolve some old problems, specifically maybe pertaining to the way that we've been thinking about things, what we've been believing, and like how we've been doing things as a result. Working to integrate, heal, alchemize, transmute some of like our own personal core issues here is going to have a beneficial impact and effect on so many different areas of life with all of these other planetary situations and activations at play. Our creativity, our finances, romance, relationships generally, all of that is going to be beneficially supported by whatever mental shifts or whatever inner healing or whatever we are releasing and letting go of or whatever cycles we're breaking in the energy of this weekend. And, perhaps whatever insight or clarity is contributing to that, as the Sun and Mercury do align on Saturday. Also, like if you're into law of attraction or manifestation, subconscious programming, this is a terrific weekend to cultivate your practice in that regard. Energy is just highly supportive of helping us to reorient our thought patterns in alignment with authentic expression in one way or another, to create or receive in authentic alignment. So another good way to use the energy this weekend. I feel like the three primary themes that are likely to emerge throughout the weekend, I've stated already multiple times in different ways, but just to put a bullet point there: discovery and clarity, healing and creation, maybe specifically in the context of some process of self-recreation or personal upgrade that is underway right now as well. So that's my overall, that's my summary, that's my like connecting the dots of everything we've got going on this weekend and boiling down those points to their essence in terms of the Mercury Sun conjunction and how the other planetary configurations may be playing into that. Now let's go day by day, take it kind of like step by step through when these energies are going to be manifesting. Friday, I do think looks like the most emotionally stable day of the weekend. Sunday is not that way, but Friday is. We do still have a Taurus moon going on Friday. The moon is squaring Venus. That could be kind of, or bring kind of like an indulgent, materialistic, like worldly pleasures, drama, attention seeking, maybe a bit type of vibe. But the moon in Taurus is also trining the Sun and trining Mercury and trining the South Node. This is a harmonious inner flow of emotional thought, feeling, energy, inner stability, inner security, the ability to do what needs to be done in the way that it needs to be done. This is helping us to be productive, and this is like adding value somehow, okay? And then also when we add that sextile to Jupiter, Jupiter will be the midpoint between the moon in Taurus and the Virgo planets on Friday. That is another like helpful, beneficial, uplifting energy that should be facilitating our ability to let something go and or make a change, but also feel okay about it. Now, we do still have black moon energy present on Friday. Talked about this in my last video for Wednesday and Thursday when that energy was really strong. So there could still be some shadow side issues, fears, worries, insecurities that are surfacing, specifically maybe with the black moon in Scorpio and also Mercury and the Sun conjunct the South Node. This could have to do with fears of loss, fears of change, fears of letting go, fears of failure, of like not having enough or being enough. Jupiter in that sextile to both of the moon and the Virgo planets actually in some ways could be expanding that energy. Like if we've got a real negative focus going on, if we're focused on everything that's wrong and everything that's not perfect and everything that is, you know, like every reason why things can't happen or every reason why something is impossible, with Jupiter in that sextile, even though I've been talking about this as a generally positive, expansive, uplifting energy, Jupiter just makes things bigger, okay? And a trine and sextiles, like these are energies that flow. There is no restriction. There's nothing holding them back. This is Jupiter applying growth to whatever's going on with that Taurus moon and with those Virgo, Mercury, Sun, South Node, and Virgo planets. So if we are in Mercury, this is what we're focused on, okay? So if we are focused on the failure, the loss, the judgment, the criticism, there's a chance that we're going to feel that in a more expansive way with Jupiter as the midpoint between the moon in Taurus, reflecting that black moon energy, and also those Virgo planets. So it could be supersizing negative feelings and emotions if that is how we are oriented or orienting ourselves, or what we're inherently or choosing to focus on throughout the course of Friday. Now, on the other side of that, Jupiter is known as the great benefic. Like this is traditionally a planet that gives good results, that brings optimism and hope and faith and trust and belief. So if we are allowing ourselves to be a bit more positively oriented, then we're likely to feel like we can do it, like things are going to be successful. And that is when that emotional stability and security and feelings of general well-being, regardless maybe of whatever hard choice or decision or difficult ending we might be dealing with right now, could be going on simultaneously. Okay, so really it depends where we are mentally and emotionally skewed, but that Jupiterian energy is going to probably expand it, and it does lean towards the positive if we are allowing ourselves to go in that direction. So maybe either way on Friday, but the more that we try to view the glass as half empty, the more of that we're going to get. If we are really pessimistic about stuff, we're probably going to get more of that. Now, moving into Saturday, again, overnight, Friday into Saturday, that's when things get a little bit weird. The moon leaves Taurus, enters the sign of Gemini, comes into the conjunction with Uranus, into the trine with Pluto. This is also the energy that is leading right into that early morning conjunction between Mercury and the Sun. So you may have had some strange or crazy dreams go on Friday night into Saturday. Answers, solutions, clarity, understanding coming through in sleep, coming through in dreams, just waking up with some charge or some instant knowing, or feeling mentally electrified, or some past problem being solved, or like suddenly having like this moment of clarity or awakening or flash of insight where like everything suddenly makes sense. Or it may just be this impulse or this urge to do something different, or you may just find yourself waking up inherently for some reason thinking differently about something, or just like wanting to make some type of change. This is a powerful mental charge, mental energy that is South Node, releasing us from old thought patterns that cause us to do things a certain way. You may find yourself suddenly reinventing the wheel for some reason, or for no apparent reason at all, but just thinking differently, or very motivated to alter this, edit that, change this, do something different for some reason or for no reason. This could also be about South Node, finishing something, ending something, resolving something, past issues coming back around in a way that requires closure. Messages also, this has to do with people, conversations, communications, things being released, things being revealed, speaking to someone that you haven't spoken to for a really long period of time, karmic connections, karmic ties, finding something maybe that has been lost, repairing something that has been broken, also getting rid of things, organizing, decluttering. If you've been needing also, as I said earlier, to change your schedules, habits, routines, this is the time to do it. Make improvements, make upgrades, get rid of what can't be fixed and is no longer contributing to your growth or success. That is for sure the cosmic memorandum, memo, whatever you want to call it, coming through in this heavy Virgo, but also South Node energy. Saturday could be a day where you are focused, very focused, hyper-focused maybe on some task or agenda or job or conversation, or maybe even like something that you're learning, something that you're finding out, cleaning, organizing. With the Venus Leo in sextile to Mars and Libra, this could also be like, that's a super potent creative energy. This could be a very creative day. There could be some very positive or enlightening or informative meetings or interactions with others going on, some type of inspiration that comes through other people, finding solutions to problems in relationships, relationship dynamics, regarding partnerships or projects or financial situations, like the missing piece of the puzzle coming through, like maybe the right advice that solves the problem. It's interesting too, because this conjunction between Mercury and the Sun, the Cazimi, is happening, I said, at 20 degrees 54 minutes of the sign of Virgo in terms of the symbolic placement. Therefore, we are going to be looking at 21 degrees of the sign of Virgo. Whenever we are looking at symbolism associated with degree placement, we always round up a degree. We read the wave of energy that is coming in, not the wave of energy that we are coming out of. So with this alignment happening at 20 degrees 54 minutes of Virgo, we're reading 21 degrees of the sign of Virgo for the Cazimi degree symbolic placement. And that Sabian symbol is a girls basketball team. So with that Venus and Mars dynamic right there as well, that is supporting social cohesion, teamwork, collaboration, cooperation. I think it's like kind of funny that we've got this Venus and Mars situation going on, and the degree placement of our alignment with Mercury and the Sun is literally talking about teamwork and working together to gain victory, to get ahead, to be successful, to accomplish a goal. So there could just be some type of very creative or beneficial interpersonal dynamics that go on as this Cazimi comes through or throughout the course of the weekend. Gains to be made maybe through social situations, or just again like some very creative energy, or solutions, remedies, or clarity in the context of social dynamics, creative solutions, or ways that we can maybe like heal or fix some of these dynamics in our lives. Also, there could be information. You know, we've got the Mars Chiron opposition going on right now as well. Information, answers, solutions having to do with health, healing, or things that help us to let go of or heal maybe some old issues, childhood wounds, or trauma. We may suddenly discover how to finally get over something, finally heal something that is ultimately entirely life-changing somehow. And things that go on this weekend in this energy, I do think are ultimately going to be life-changing somehow. This is eclipse season. Again, those do tend to be and bring the more significant, impactful, life-changing events and scenarios. Again, they are very karmic, you know, fate, destiny oriented, and things could very much feel that way as we move throughout the course of the weekend and, you know, this next several days leading into part 2 of our eclipses, the new moon in Virgo that's coming up next. But I do think life-changing shifts are quite indicated throughout the course of this weekend, and of course moving through this eclipse window that we are currently in. Now, let's talk about Sunday. Sunday, as I said a little while ago, I do think that this is probably the most tense day maybe of the weekend. We do have the third quarter square moon going on. Not only will the moon square the sun, but also Mercury, also the south node, and Mercury's ruling obviously both of the signs that the planets are in order for the square to take place. So major conflict could be going on perhaps in regards to the way that we are feeling about things and the thought-oriented nature, the mental energy, the way that we are thinking about things. This is not like Friday. On Friday, we also had the moon contacting these Virgo planets, but that was via the trine. This was a much more harmonized flow of energy between our thoughts and feelings. With the square there, it's like the conflict between the thoughts and feelings. This is the point of contention, considering that these are both Mercury signs, Gemini and Virgo. Arguments, debates, conflicting ideas, facts, data, stories, verbal conflicts, misunderstandings, tensions over the methods for doing things, like not being able to agree on which system or style we're using to accomplish the task. Information overload could come with this. This could also bring like scattered thoughts, lacking logic, lacking rationality, lacking consistency, storytelling, fantasy, thinking, dishonesty, things being a bit like delusional, hard to tell fact from fiction, feeling mentally overwhelmed, mentally disoriented, difficult choices, difficult decisions, difficult conversations. Remember the North Node, I haven't talked much about the North Node in the video today because we've been so focused on the South Node, but the North Node is also exactly opposite, you know, Mercury and the Sun, or not exactly, but is in a very tight opposition to Mercury and the Sun, while we have them conjunct the South Node, also in the trine to Jupiter, and the moon in Gemini is going to be squaring the North Node in the sign of Pisces, whereas Virgo is this very rational, logical thought, linear mind, cognitive based energy. Pisces is essentially exactly the opposite, very dreamy, very idealistic, very like fantasy, ideal, confusion, mental fog type of energy. And with the moon in square, this can just bring a disorientation, like things are not necessarily clear, it's difficult to focus, the mind is wandering, caught in a daydream, again, like hard to discern maybe what is real and what is not, questions, doubts, confusion, mental resistance to things. Also with that square energy, cognitive dissonance. This could also be bringing up mental health issues, stress and anxiety, maybe as a result of whatever it was that was revealed or the changes that we're making, something to do with maybe what happened over the weekend. For some reason, it looks like on Sunday, people just like really maybe questioning their sanity, or maybe just having a bit of a harder time processing whatever it was that we learned or mentally, came to reorganize or understand in terms of like thoughts and emotions. There could just be some mental and emotional unrest that's going on that's bringing up a lot of questions and I don't know, maybe contributing to this like sense of kind of like inner anxiety or stress that could be going on Sunday. I do recommend trying not to be overly harsh, overly critical, overly perfectionistic when we've got this type of square going on Sunday. We are back in some of this energy that I spoke about earlier this week that may be really narrowing our focus, like zoning us in on every flaw, every imperfection, everything that's not working, everything that is not right. And I'm here to tell you, it's probably just not worth stressing yourself out over these type of like details in the energy of Sunday. That may be the pull. I think that imperfections and failures and like a critical view on things is probably going to be the more dominant perspective. However, with the presence of Jupiter in the sextile to these planets right now and the trine to the North Node, what we focus on, as I said earlier, is going to grow and expand into a greater capacity than it normally does. Whatever you focus on grows. It's just like a law of this reality. But when we've got Jupiter in there like that, it is gonna just like amplify that growth, kind of like supersize it. So if we are focusing on everything that's not right, it's probably just going to feel super overwhelming and like soul crushing and like nothing will ever be right. However, if we do what this energy is actually asking us to do, if we focus on and continue to work on the small changes, the edits, the upgrades that we can make in the moment, the little things that we can do to reduce our stress, to make things easier for ourselves, understanding that the imperfections are probably going to be standing out more than normal, but choosing not to focus on them to the extent and to have faith that if we just do the work, if we just make the changes, that things are going to grow and expand in a positive direction for us, and choose to make that our mental and emotional focal point. I just think that this is probably going to save our sanity, and it is going to help us open to receive the gifts and blessings and growth that are associated with whatever these revelations or healing situations or endings are representing right now as well. So this is a moment in time where we truly can gain some wisdom to assist us in our process of mastering our own reality. We do have the North Node right now. I've been talking about this degree for a while now. 19 degrees of the sign of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is a master instructing his disciple. We also right now have Chiron at 27 Aries. Through imagination, a lost opportunity is regained, and self-mastery, personal renewal, and regaining lost opportunities could very much be a result of whatever changes that we are being energetically urged to make in the energy of this weekend. So that's what I have to say, you guys. That's how I feel about all of our alignments this weekend. Of course, specifically that Mercury Sun alignment should be an interesting time, especially coming right out of that Moon Uranus conjunction that happens overnight. So tell me about it, you guys. If you have any crazy dreams, or if you just, wake up in the morning and you feel like a different person for some reason, or you're thinking about things different, definitely let me know. Oh, another thing that I want to tell you guys, I've been making short videos lately, just like get ready with me videos where I'm going over some astrology basics. I made one that should be posted by the time that I post this video, or while I post this video. Anyways, if you look at my shorts, you'll probably find it. I did sign by sign forecasts for this Mercury Sun Cazimi. So if you are wondering where this energy is, you know, based on your ascendant, how this Mercury Sun alignment may be impacting you personally, depending on what area of life these planets are coming together in for you, the house that it's happening in for you, check out that short that is in my shorts section of my YouTube channel, because as I said, I did go sign by sign and just give like a brief synopsis of all 12 signs and where the energy is manifesting for them. So check that out. I'm going to get a synchronicity card now. One final piece of guidance or advice from God, Great Spirit, Universe. What do we need to know? That was fast. Our card says, it's your attitude. And this is all about attitude adjustments. Virgo, Mercury, Sun, Cazimi, South Node, changing up the patterns. Okay, it's your attitude. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Matthew 7:14. The only way you can alter outer conditions is to change your mental attitude. That's exactly what is happening this weekend. For harmony, peace, prosperity, and health to enter your life, you must fill your subconscious with the understanding that all harmony, peace, abundance, and security is yours right now. Like, that's the lesson right now. It may be happening in like a whole bunch of crazy ways, but if we bring it all down to the most basic core level, that's what this is. Reprogramming our mind in a way that behooves and benefits our ability to manifest fulfillment and success, and to stop ruminating, whether we are aware of it or not, or to stop the subconscious or self-sabotaging thought patterns that we may or may not be aware have been keeping us stuck in previous states that have been diminishing our potential, diminishing our happiness, diminishing our fulfillment. Even again, like if we are unaware that this is at the root of our problems. Change the input, change the output, change the way that we are thinking, change the way that we are living. Literally, this is exactly what this card is saying. Change your attitude, and it might not be easy, and it might cause some issues on Sunday, but that is where all of this is, all signs are pointing to the change your attitude path. So that's where we're going, and that's also our advice and guidance for the weekend. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think they would also enjoy this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, let me know if you know you're having experiences that reflect what I'm talking about in this video and any of my videos. Drop me a comment, tell me about it. That's very valuable information to me. I truly value your presence on my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post images of those boards. Look in my description box below. You will see a link to a Facebook group, and that's where you can find pictures of those boards if you want to see the whole thing. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. We have a new week of astrology to get into. We've got a very rare double new moon in Virgo solar eclipse that's coming up, and a whole bunch more astrology to get into. So I will be back to do just that on Monday. You don't want to miss it. Wishing you guys a beautiful weekend, and until next time, bye.